What's going on, everyone? So as good as the Los Angeles Lakers have been, and yes, we still haven't had LeBron James, which could solve a lot for the Lakers from an athletic standpoint to a defense standpoint to just another guy that can make plays and score the basketball and be a Swiss Army knife type guy, all of those things. Guys like Gabe Vincent being back, Adu Thero could add some athleticism. I don't know how much he'll actually play, but he could, right? Like, we're missing several key guys. Austin Reeves still out, right? Hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. Gives you another ball handler, guy playing at an MVP level, right? Like, this team is only going to get better. Not only is this team only going to get better, but they're eventually going to get healthy and get their pieces back. And we could be looking at one of, if not the best teams in all of basketball. They're 7-3 despite all of those things. And I just think that they are in really good shape and have shown that they are a very good basketball team. I know that they're coming off of an ugly loss, but Lakers aren't a perfect team. And it happens. You get bad losses, right? Every team, even OKC had some duds. Lakers went into Boston the year that they won the NBA championship, went literally into Boston with Austin Reeves, Jackson Hayes, and a bunch of role players and blew Boston out the gym with like 3-4 G League guys playing, right? Like, it was just like ridiculous. So to me, again, context is important. Context matters. I thought going into the season, I talked about it all offseason, I thought this team could be a very good basketball team. That I thought this team was potentially good enough and that there would be a version of this team that could hoist the Larry O'Brien championship, Larry O'Brien trophy, right? I still believe that. I think this team absolutely can. I think this team is a playoff team. I talked about it when we got the news that LeBron was going to miss the start of the season. I said, hey, without LeBron can miss the entire season. We are a playoff team. We are, anywhere from that, probably 4, I don't know about top 3 seed, maybe, right? I mean, Luka's done more or less, but realistically, 4 through 6, I think we are without LeBron. You add in LeBron, we are a title contender, right? He could be the difference between you being a playoff team or a title contender. Talking about a guy that was 6th in MVP voting, still a top 10 player. I mean, we'll see what he is this year with the sciatica and all those things, but this is a good basketball team, and it's forced guys to elevate. I do think it's good that LeBron James ended up missing some time, and even Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, right? Because it's forced guys to have to be better. It's forced guys to have to play to the level. Otherwise, we're getting smacked every single night. Lakers have a winning record, which means guys are playing to the level, which means guys are holding up there. And you've seen guys like Jake LaRavia and DeAndre Ayton and, these guys, Marcus Smart, just really have an impact on this game in several fronts. And I'm hoping that continues, right? Even when LeBron and everyone comes back. I hope LeBron doesn't come in and just try to dominate the basketball and, basically go like, hey, it's my team, I need to prove a point here. Hopefully he buys in and plays within the scheme, within the system, and particularly buys into the defensive side of things as well as just the playmaking side and rebounding and all that stuff. Because the Lakers still have very clear needs, right? It is very obvious. It's been obvious, even despite all the winning, even despite the injuries and everything. Lakers have some very clear needs that they need to address at the trade deadline. And it's part of the reason that I have so much optimism and I believe that the Lakers can get to an NBA championship. Because Rob Pelinka, and I even talked about this in my Rob Pelinka video, got to give him his flowers because the guy solved most of our issues without having to make any trades or having to do anything. And whatever you want to call it luck, whatever, guess what? He still got it. It still happened. He was patient and the patience paid off. Talked about it. I don't mind players or organizations or, GMs or whatever being patient as long as the patience pays off. And so far the patience paid off for Rob Pelinka, right? But job's not finished. Beauty is that he was able to do all those things while still maintaining all of your assets, still having all the expiring contracts, so on and so forth, which puts the Lakers in excellent position to solve most, if not all of their needs going into the trade deadline, right? It is very apparent that the Lakers still really lack two-way capability. Like, literally, Jake LaRavia is probably our best two-way player. Like, you talk about like defense and offense, probably Jake LaRavia, at least out on the perimeter. LeBron gets back, it's probably him. But beyond that, right, you really just need athleticism and perimeter defense. Right? Basically, all the things that we were worried about in the offseason, right? We said, after looking at this team, right, going into the season, it was like, man, they really could use some two-way help, and they really could use some athleticism and defense out on the perimeter. And then we ended up kind of stretching our way to preseason, and it was like, okay, we're going to see some stuff. And then we got into preseason, and it was like, yeah, they still really need some two-way capability and some athleticism and some perimeter defense, right? Like, it didn't change. And despite the Lakers being 7-3, I still don't think it's changed. I still think that the Lakers need perimeter defense, athleticism, and two-way capability, right? Which means guys like Rui Hachimura is probably going to have to go. And I like Rui a lot. And to his credit, he has evolved and adapted into the exact type of player that you want playing off ball. And look, if there's a way to go get a Wiggins or something like that, just kind of using him as an example, or Herb Jones or whatever, if there's a way to go get a guy like that and still keep Rui Hachimura, and if he's comfortable coming off the bench and playing that 6-man role and giving you 15 a night off the bench and being a shooter in those games that he's just lights out, you just let him stay out there, then sure, by all means, keep him. Right? By all means, let him play. Right? Like, you don't have, I'm not saying you trade him just to trade him, but I just think realistically speaking, if you're going to solve what you need to solve, you're probably going to have to get off of him. He's your best tradable asset player, outside of like Austin Reeves, but you're probably not trading Austin Reeves this year. So Rui's probably that, and he's your largest expiring contract, which will have some value come the trade deadline too. And there's a lot of teams right now that are underachieving, that some of those teams I don't think are going to turn it around, where you might be able to kind of, take advantage in season opportunity here, right? LeBron James coming back, if he is willing to buy into the role, would solve a ton, and I mean a ton, for the Lakers, right? If you go Luka Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, or Jake LaRavia, right? Either or, Marcus Smart or Jake LaRavia. And LeBron James is willing to buy in to just being that defensive anchor. I mean, he's still going to go get his 20 and stuff like that, but he's going to be, I still believe this. Obviously, we haven't seen him play, so we don't know for certain. I think he's going to have one of, if not the most efficient seasons of his career, right? That doesn't mean he's going to score the most points, right? I wouldn't be shocked if he's only like 22 a game or something like that, right? Like maybe even 18 a game, something like that, right? Like, but I could see him doing that on like 70% from the field, or like 70% true shooting, or something crazy like that, right? Because Luka and LeBron, especially Luka draws more attention than any player LeBron has ever played with, and that includes Dwayne Wade, Kyrie, all of it. Like the attention and the way that Luka Doncic is able to create, I mean, is like it's the closest thing to LeBron that LeBron has ever seen. Right. So to me, LeBron's going to have a lot of just easy offensive opportunities. So my hope is that he comes in and buys into that kind of off-ball role. He's going to have his moments and opportunities to be on ball, but primarily the off-ball role, and really being the defensive anchor and providing that athleticism and that defense out on the perimeter. Because we saw him do that last year. I mean, the Lakers were the best defense in all of basketball with Jackson Hayes, Luka Doncic, also before that, it was like D'Lo. Like Lakers have been and have shown, like with LeBron, when Anthony Davis went down and then we ultimately traded Anthony Davis, that LeBron can be your defensive anchor and that he can help lead you to that defense team. And it's about his buy-in. So you add him with Marcus Smart, Austin Reeves, and Luka have actually been good defensively, not elite, not great. They're not going to be on all, defensive teams or anything like that, but they've been good defensively. Add in a Marcus Smart that does the dirty work, makes the hustle plays, defends at a high level, with LeBron James, who's willing to kind of defend at a high level and be that defensive anchor, and DeAndre Ayton, the way he's defending and playing. All of a sudden, you could solve and fix a lot of these issues that the Lakers have. Now, you still, I think, need to address some of those. I still go get an Andrew Wiggins, or, again, I'm just using him as an example, or Herb Jones or something like that, whatever, right? Also, guys like a Dude Theroux, I think, could also help a ton, right? Like Jared Vanderbilt. Say what you want about Jared Vanderbilt. Obviously, offensively, he struggles, all that. The guy rebounds like a madman. He just had, like 18 rebounds the other night, right? Like, talk about a guy that rebounds, does the hustle plays defense, all that stuff. But it's just his athleticism is so valuable out there. The hustle, the dirty work, all the stuff that he does and impacts the game, right? you know what? The Lakers could really use another Jared Vanderbilt, right? Like, so if Dude Theroux could do that alone, obviously, again, you really need two-way players, but I've talked about for years, just injecting athleticism alone would do wonders for this team, right? Like, if you could magically clone a Dude Theroux and now have three of them and inject those three guys into this team, it would do wonders. Now you add in the two-way capability and all those other things. Now you might be the best team in all of basketball. So Lakers definitely have some clear needs that they need to address. I don't think anything's really changed in that department. I don't want them to just go trade just for athleticism. But look, Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves playing at a high level can mask and hide a lot. Right? But still, you want to make it as easy on them as possible. So the Lakers can address their needs that are still very clear and apparent. I think you have to address those needs. But we'll see what Rob Pelinka is able to get done. Look, I trust him to get a trade done. I've said this a million times, right? If anyone's going to make a trade, it's Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka's made a trade every year he's been in office but one. And it was the year that he said nothing happened and no one else made a trade. So it wasn't like Rob Pelinka just was sitting on his hands. Like literally nothing got done. Everyone that was available in the offseason or at the trade deadline were all available in the offseason and ended up getting traded in the offseason, like DeJounte Murray and guys like that, right? Like, so if Rob Pelinka has the opportunity to make a trade, he's going to make a trade. That's just what he does, right? That's his thing. Like, so if a deal is there to be had, which I do believe there will be, and I think there will be several options potentially, Rob Pelinka's got to get it done. You know, even if you have to slide overpay, if it solves what we need, you do it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.